The Palace of Versailles by Matthew Worley. Construction began in 1664 when Louis XIV decided to centralize political power outside of Paris for the first time in French history. Louis XIV decided to make this decision after witnessing much violence during his childhood growing up in France. Everything from murder to rape to prostitution, public beheadings, you name it. Paris, France was a very dangerous time at the place. Was very dangerous at the time. Wow, I can't speak today. Sorry, students. Let's hope your papers go better than that. Louis XIV was an ostentatious and colorful individual. After years of enjoying hunting trips around where the palace is now located, the king decided to turn his father's former private hunting lodge into a masterpiece cultivating French art, culture, and achievement. As you can see from the picture previously, he loved to flaunt wealth as what he believed to be the epitome of French art and culture. So like I said before, construction began in 1664 when Louis XIV formulated the idea of moving the center of political power outside of Paris. Louis XIV thoroughly loved being in the outdoors. His idea for the lavish gardens ensured he would have a massive space for personal reflection, as well as a place to talk with his advisors, as well as diplomatic visitors, all of whom were impressed by the lavish size. The Hall of Mirrors, as seen directly in front of you, was the focal point of the palace, bringing together the most beautiful artwork as well as a splendid design. This room is used for grand gatherings and utilized by the king to display his ostentatious power, impressing all those who entered. This room brought together all of the most elite French artists at the time. This is another view of the gardens from above. As you can tell, it was quite lavish, and details were not spared, even on the grass. This is the Sun Gate. Louis XIV referred to himself as the Sun King, so of course he had to have a gate that reminded him of himself. This created the picturesque idea of separation in a devout absolute monarchy, all in beautiful gold. This chapel was where many performances were held, as well as ritual ceremonies. This is a view from outside the palace, just outside the king's chamber. Like I've said before, they did not spare any details. All over. This is actually what the king's chamber looks like today, although it doesn't look much different than it did back then. As you can tell, there is a little railing right outside, and that is so people can lean on it when they get invited to watch the king and queen perform intercourse. This was actually a great honor, and you were deemed most noble if you got quarterly invited to watch the king and queen hopefully produce an heir. This is another view from outside the palace. As you can tell, each statue was hand-carved and hand-selected by the king himself, Louis XIV. He had to be sure that it was the most beautiful palace to ever be made, which I would have to agree it is. Now this statue of the Sun King is right outside the palace, and it's very elegant, captivating his leadership and nobility. His brilliant idea to centralize the French government led to what is renowned as the most brilliant masterpiece in French history, attracting millions of visitors each year. Someday, I hope to lead my class there as well.